like early on?
Well, I'm sort of like a research scientist. I'm not a scientist in the strictest sense, more research. Research has to take a number of different areas into consideration. If I get into pathology and psychopathology or pathophysiology, I have to take areas of philosophy, psychology. And there's so many different areas you have to take into consideration when you're studying, let's say, bipolar 1, manic episode, or mental disorders, or mental disease as a whole. This is not supposed to be an intellectual show. This is supposed to...
Come on, man.
I didn't want to come here and have this discussion.
Listen,
I wanted to listen.
Listen, I don't know what to say, but some of this stuff I don't get. I told you that already. But like, what can you teach me? Like, what's the most vital thing I need to know with your knowledge? Like, what if you could teach me anything, what would you teach me?
Not really teach, but just, man, I think you are extraordinary, my friend. And I've seen a number of people discuss in forums, interactive platforms where people would actually discuss in your show and how extraordinary, the Jeff Richard show is, how extraordinary you are, and spot on when it comes to these impersonations.
First off, this is not Jeff Richards. This is not Jeff Richards.
Jimmy Falcon. Yeah, absolutely.
That's Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon, I apologize.
Jimmy Falcon. What do you think I am, a bird or something? I mean, where am I gonna fly to? I can't fly anywhere now. I got the headphones in.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm being interviewed by Jimmy Falcon, the bird.
And I'm talking to Mr. Pregnant.
Yeah, Mr. Pregnant. Atelston, Fitzgerald, all of the first.
Now, you were on the Chappelle Show.
I was on the Chappelle Show. I was on MTV like 15 times. I was on VH1 over 20 times. So I've been on a number of different networks.
Tell me about the Chappelle Show, though. Did you get to meet him?
Yes, I saw Chappelle back in those days in New York. I was like 22 at the time. I was doing back vocals. And I auditioned for the Chappelle Show. And I was on the first recording of the Chappelle episode. And it was a Sally Field episode that completely failed miserably. So I was on the first episode of the Chappelle Show that failed miserably back in the day. That was a Sally Field show.
Why did it fail miserably?
Because in film, when you're doing production, when you're doing skits, there's a lot of projects that fail miserably, that never make it. It just doesn't make it to television. And I has happened to be on one of those episodes. So it was just...
Sally Field, what was she, drunk or something?
It's just, you ever had one of those moments? I'm doing a recording, a discussion, and it just failed miserably. Things just don't always go the way we anticipated. Go ahead.
You like energy bars?
I don't smoke, no drink, no energy bars, no caffeine, none of that stuff.
What do you eat?
I just eat fruits, fruit and vegetables, no meat.
Just fruits and vegetables, no beans?
No rice, no bread, no meat.
No beans?
No sugar. Sometimes beans.
You have beans. What kind of beans? What's so funny?
Yo, I'm on the Jimmy Fallon show. Yo, I'm on the freaking Jimmy Fallon show. Yo, I'm gonna blow this up on my social media. I'm gonna blow this up on Instagram. What?
Just don't tell him it's the Jimmy Falcon show, man.
I'm gonna blow up the Jimmy Fallon. I told you this story this episode, man. I call you Jimmy Falcon and Jimmy Fallon. Oh my god.
It's incredible. That's so cool. Let me look at some other things here. Let's see here. We talked about your website. You talked about you don't really do astrology though. That's not your thing.
I'm not into astrology now.
Is it not real? Is it because it's not real or what?
Well, I won't say it's not. It's considered soft science. Astronomy, yeah, not astrology, because astrology is based on a lot of prediction. My area is like linguistics. I like linguistics because if you study humor or comedy, comedy is really predicated. The fundamental nature of comedy is predicated on linguistics, language. There are a lot of ambiguity, a lot of play on words, a lot of surrealism, a lot of absurdity. So humor is predicated on linguistics. So linguistics is one of my primary infatuation because it really helps you unravel a lot of different stuff.
You know what I like? Linguistics and eggs.
Linguistic. What does that? What the hell does that mean?
No, because it's a play on words. You know, linguiça.
Linguiça.
You get sometimes you have linguiça and eggs and sausage and patties.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, you know, linguistics sounds a lot like linguiça.
I love the way that sounds. Jimmy Falcon loved linguistics and eggs.
I really only in the morning, you know.
Wow. I'm so excited. I'm gonna blow this show up, man. You have no idea. Am I allowed to blow this show up on my social media?
I wish you would. I really do.
Oh, you have no idea what's coming. I've watched every episode. I've seen all the celebrities. You are extraordinary, my friend. You're remarkable. I watch all your music videos from back in the days. Yo, can I say something on live on the show?
I wish you would.
I used to go to the Hollywood Improv every Tuesday. You remember you used to go to the Hollywood Improv every Tuesday?
Yeah.
And I used to go to the Hollywood Improv every Tuesday to the open mic, and you would make drop-in guest appearance.
Yeah.
And you would go on stage and you would do these spontaneous 1 minute to 3 minutes, just these funny, absurd, live singing. It was just catchy, uplifting, hilarious. It was phenomenal. It was, and those were the days where I just came to LA and I was pursuing stand-up comedy, and then seeing this guy on Saturday Night Live, and then seeing him physically there in the Hollywood Improv, doing what he does and achieving the same reaction. It was just like, man, I felt like I was really watching a dream unfold. And to be a guest on your show, man, that just blew me away. I just said, man, I really hope I can live up to this guy's expectations.
I've always wanted you on the show, you know, all the way back to. You remember the thing that they were doing in Santa Monica? It's not the is.com, but it was the I can't remember. It was like it was a thing where they would troll people, you know? Remember the trolling thing?
I remember that too. I remember that. Yeah, and I remember also when you would show up at a comedy store sometime on a Monday, and you would do your stuff. Yeah. So you're like, and then you would have all these guests, and it's funny because you would put these guests, and these are celebrities, and you would have these celebrities on your show, and they know what to anticipate, yet you would put them in these uncompromising position, because you would have them on this trend where they would be having a serious conversation, and then you'll just throw something in there that's completely absurd. And
because it just can't stay the same, you know. If it's just like, how you doing? I'm fine. What was yesterday? Like, oh, it wasn't bad. You know, if there's no, like, you know, dramatic, you know, turbulence, no, you know, wild waters, you know, you're not gonna have that the gripping, you know. You're not gonna be able to grip your seat, you know.
Yeah, like Jimmy Falcon having linguistics and eggs in the wild west.
That's right. Now, do you like soft drinks? You don't drink soft drinks? I bet you don't.
I don't drink. I don't.
No sugar.
No sugar. No, none of that stuff.
That's incredible.
I try to stay light. I don't eat rice, bread, because I need energy. It's all about energy. And you need energy to produce, to create mass production, to be prolific and mass production on my level. It requires a hell of a lot of energy. So I have to find ways to conserve. I have to find ways to reserve, and I have to find ways to have energy. To create energy, to produce energy, to keep going.
Tell me about, because we talk about energy, that makes me think of everlasting life, and it makes me think of because they say you can't stop energy. You can't. Is that right? You can't neutralize energy. Energy just changes forms.
Yeah, it can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transformed. You know, in alchemy they call it the transmutation from one form to another. So you might have a breakup, or you might fall in love with a girl or a crush, and she might reject you. So you could take that rejection, you could take that pain, and in alchemy they call it the transmutation. So back in the primordial era, medieval times, alchemy was written within the context of chemistry. But that was just a big metaphor and an analogy. But only people who are biologically predisposed, you know, I would say to extrasensory perception, could really dissect what alchemy really means. Is the transmutation. Turning metal into gold is just a metaphor for transmuting from one form to another. So you have a crush, you get rejected by this girl. What do you do with this pain or this agony? You transmute that. You transform that. That's energy. That's negative energy. So you put that energy into so that's what transmutation is, the ability to take, and energy is how we feel. When we feel a particular way, that emotion that is evoked, that is really energy in a particular type of form. So we could convert that form and transmute it into something a little more productive.